Welcome to LS Performance, and today we are looking at the 2025 Ford Ranger Wildtrak. Now this isn't just another Bakkie, this is the Bakkie, the one that makes you want to buy a caravan you will never tow, or a boat you will never launch, just so you can tell people, yeah, I tow stuff. It's big, it's bold, and basically Namibia's unofficial uniform. Hilux owners, don't crucify me, hey. But honestly, Rangers have become so common here, they should come with the country's coat of arms on the bonnet. From Windhoek to Walvis, every second driveway has one of these. It's less of a car, more of a personality trait. The kind where you don't introduce yourself by name anymore. You just say, I drive a Wildtrack. Climb inside and the Wildtrack hits you with one word. Premium. Leather accented seats with Wildtrack stitching, a chunky leather wrapped steering wheel, and just enough soft touch materials to make you forget it's still a Bakkie. The cabin is wider than before, properly airy, with enough clever storage to hide half your life. Cup holders that actually fit proper bottles, not the tiny thimble sized ones in the cheaper cars. Deep door bins and a center console so massive you could smuggle your whole entire lunchbox in that stash. It's rugged, yes, but still classy enough that you could pick up the in-laws and they wouldn't ask if they need to wear helmets. Honestly, some SUVs should be embarrassed because this interior makes them feel like they're still stuck in 2010. Let's talk looks. The first thing you'd see when you see a Ford Ranger Wildtrak are those C-clamp LED headlights. Ford calls them a signature, but to me they look like the Wildtrak is permanently squinting at every lesser Bakkie. It's basically saying, oh, you're still driving that. The grille, wide, in your face, it's confident. The kind of face that says, yes, I will cut in at the engine car wash line, and whether you like it or yes, you will let me pass. It's longer, it's wider, it's chunkier, sitting proudly on 18-inch alloys that somehow managed to look both tough and stylish, like a rugby prop who knows how to pull off skinny jeans. And then there's the color. You've seen Lux Yellow, the one that shouts, yes, I can afford the fuel. But this one here is grey. A proper stealth bumper vibe. Doesn't scream at you, just growls quietly. When your family invites you for a family gathering and they see you pull up in this Ford Ranger Wildtrak, trust me, they'll give you the most luxurious chair. They'll even make way for you to pass. The rich auntie is here, the rich uncle is here. Make space. And whatever you do, don't disagree with them in the meeting. Whatever they say goes. All because you own a Ford Ranger Wildtrak. This is where the Wildtrak flexes. Front and center, a massive 12-inch portrait touchscreen running Sync 4A, paired with a 12.4-inch digital cluster. Both crisp, smooth, responsive. Not the laggy afterthought you find in certain rivals. You get wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, wireless charging, a 360-degree camera, adaptive cruise control, and over-the-air updates. So yes, it updates itself like a smartphone, except this one won't run out of space because you downloaded too many memes. Then there's the Ford Pass Connect. Link it to your phone and suddenly your Ranger becomes a remote-controlled toy. You can lock it, unlock it, even remote start it to warm up the cabin. You can check tire pressures, fuel range, and even locate it if you've forgotten where you parked after a long night at work. And my favorite party trick is the zone lighting. You can control the 360-degree exterior lights around the truck, either from the screen or the app. Perfect for setting up camp or blinding the nosy neighbor's cat. Basically, this Bakkie has more brains than half the WhatsApp groups you're in. And unlike those groups, everything here actually works. Now, power. You have two choices. The 2-liter bi-turbo diesel with 154 kilowatts and 500 Newton meters of torque. Or the big dog, a 3-liter V6 turbo diesel with 184 kilowatts and 600 Nm of torque. Both mated to Ford's 10-speed auto. The V6 is the one you want. Pulls like a freight train, overtakes like you're playing it for speed, and makes towing 3.5 tons feel like dragging a shopping trolley. The 2-liter biturbo though, don't laugh, it's efficient, it's punchy and still leaves smaller Bakkies blinking like, wait what? What just happened? Either way, you are not left asking, can it? The Wildtrack just answers, of course I can. Next question. Now, the back, where the magic happens. The load box is wider now, big enough for a Euro pallet to lie flat, and Ford actually thought about real-world use. You get a tailgate with lift assistance so that you don't feel like you're at the gym every time you open it. You also get side steps behind the rear wheels so that you're not climbing tires like a baboon. A molded bed liner, tie down cleats and divider slots so that your gear does not rattle around like loose change. You also get a 12-volt socket and an optional 240-volt power outlet, turning it into a mobile workshop. Now, the painful part. The Wildtrack comes in at around 841,500 Namibian dollars. When you finance that over 72 months, which is basically 6 years, at 11% interest, you are basically going to look at 15,900 Namibian dollars a month. But that doesn't include fuel. With the V6 sipping around 9 liters per 100 kilometers, you will pay around about 1,629.60 cents for a single full tank of petrol. For those that know that one tank won't last them a month, let's say you drive 1,000 kilometers a month and you burn through 100 liters. At the price of petrol, that's about $2,037 worth of petrol. Insurance, let's say 2,500, this is just an estimate. So all in, you're hovering around $20,400 a month. But Ford cushions it with a 4-year, 120,000 kilometer warranty, a 6-year, 90,000 kilometer service plan, a 5-year unlimited kilometer corrosion cover, and a 3-year roadside assistance. So yes, your wallet will suffer, but at least you're not suffering alone. Ford has your back. Alright, let's break it down. The pros and the cons of the Ford Ranger Wildtrak. Number 1, the warranty and the service plan is on point. As mentioned before, the 4-year 120,000 kilometer warranty and the 6-year 90,000 kilometer service plan are amazing. You don't get that with many car brands, and Ford makes sure that you are sorted for a long while. That's a solid peace of mind. Number 2, the Ford Pass app. The remote start, the lock and unlock, checking the fuel levels, and even tracking where you parked makes life so convenient. It actually works and it's very useful. The third one, the rear seat practicality. The bench flips up to give you a flat space for bags or gear you don't want rolling around in the load bin. The fourth one is the wider stance. On gravel roads it feels stable, planted and smooth at speed. The fifth one are the power outlets. These things are everywhere, from USB-Cs to 12-volt sockets and even a household plug. A whole plug in a Bakkie. It's perfect for charging laptops, drones, or running a blender at a braai. This car is truly amazing. But now the sour part, which are the cons. Number 1 is the size. It's wide and long. It has great presence, but a pain in tight city streets or mall parking bays. The second one is the V6 weight. It's powerful, but the heavy front end means little dip in corners and braking. The next one is also the tech overload. This one can be controversial to some people. The Sync 4A and the Ford Pass are brilliant, but for some people it's too much, especially the older generation. Your grandmother, your grandfather may find this a very difficult car to use in terms of its tech, mainly because they aren't used to it or they are not accustomed to it. So don't be surprised if your old uncle or your grandmother calls you every 5 minutes to explain to them how a certain thing works in the Ford Ranger Wildtrak. The resale value is also worth mentioning. The Ranger holds okay, but it's not great compared to its competitors. So when you're buying this thing, just buy it to keep it. If you are selling, just don't sell. Upgrade or trade it in to get a newer or another version of a Ford Ranger or something. That works, but to sell it, it's not advisable in my opinion. And lastly, this Ford Ranger Wildtrak it doesn't come with a hybrid, basically, which is okay for most, Ford Ranger owners. But yeah, in the market that we're in, most cars are moving towards mild hybrid technology to help maybe in throttle responses and stuff like that. So the fact that the Ford Ranger Wildtrak doesn't have that, it's not that big of a blow. But hey, just some advice from me. The next Wildtrack, just add that day. So, the 2025 Ford Ranger Wildtrak. It's big, it's bold, comfortable enough to rival an SUV, smarter than most laptops, and strong enough to haul half of Katutura, if asked to, of course. It's not just a Bakkie, it's a statement. It's the king of lifestyle pickups. Practical, powerful, and dripping with road presence. And yes, your wallet will feel it. But every time you climb in and press start and hear that V6 growl, you'll forget about the maths. Because the Wildtrack isn't about owning a car, it's about owning a feeling. And that feeling, it's priceless. This is Ellis Performance. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and actually show the channel some love. Because if you don't, I'll compare you to a Hilux driver. And no one wants that.